Hello everyone and welcome to GoldenNova's First React, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. I woke up today and I saw everyone screaming about new Raw support. There's a new pack coming out after Beyond the Brave, Immortal Phoenix, and the art's looking pretty good so far, but I did need to start things off with this. We're getting Diabellstar cards in Rush Duel? I mean, I'm glad that we're sharing the lore around. I just didn't expect it to be Rush. Just want to show this off. This is pretty nifty. Cool effect. It's a draw 2. It's going to have monsters being summoned from the back row to the front row and face down defense position. I'm not too up on Rush. Does this work with any particular given archetype? Are we snake eyesing in Rush? I don't know what's going on here. I can't delay anymore. Look at this pack art. Look at this nasty guy they've got up here. This is so perfect. I love anytime the animators go sicko with Yami Merrick. It's the best. Okay. We are going to be doing the old classic anime import trope of taking a bunch of previously unrelated cards and making them fit together into an actual mechanical theme, which is always a fun time. I love how they have to bend over backwards to make all of this work. The Sun God's Poet Hell Poemer is a level 5 Dark Fiend monster with 2000 attack and 1400 defense. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, you can discard one other card to special summon this card from your hand, so being level 5 isn't an issue. Second, if this card is special summoned, you can add a Sun God card from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. Then if your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 higher than yours, you can discard one random card from their hand. So you get a card, they lose a card. And then third, during the end phase, if the Immortal Sun God was sent to your grave this turn, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. So we're seeing some classic Raw moves over here. The last one, I feel like is kind of tied into the fact that like Immortal Phoenix goes away and then that gets you back Raw, or like when Raw dies, Immortal Phoenix comes back, one of those type of things. It's cool to see Sun God is an actual archetype they're putting together. It's not just cards that reference the winged dragon of Raw. Though I guess this means that it doesn't let us search out a lot of the Raw support that's been printed over the years, which is kind of a drag. But hey, we might legitimately get the Yami Merrick domain that I've been waiting for a while. I've tried to run like 4-player Battle City games, and the other 3 combatants are very easy to build around, but Merrick does not have a deck to work with unless you choose Gravekeepers, which has largely not been what he's used. So this could be really cool. Very happy to see it. Next up is Makiora, the Sun God's Destructor, a level 4 Dark Warrior monster with 1600 attack and 1200 defense. How is it going to cheat trap cards this time? You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, this is the first one, or sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, but not the deck, you can set a Sun God spell or trap card from your hand or deck, and if it is a quick play spell or trap card, it can be activated this turn. Second, during the end phase, if the Immortal Sun God was sent to the graveyard this turn, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so we have a lot of ways to recur cards, and this gets us our This is our spell and trap searchers, effectively. This one's our, well, just anything searcher, as it turns out. Okay. Next up is Gilgarth, the Sun God's Terror Machine. I love the name Gilgarth. This design is just, I don't know what to say about it. Big giant chest plate, huge neck, tiny little head, terror machine. To be fair, I guess I also would feel pretty scared seeing this at night in an alleyway with a big old sword like that. You can only use its first, second, third effect once per turn. First, if you control a Sun God card, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second, you can tribute this card, then target one other card in your graveyard. Send one Sun God card from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, place the targeted card on the bottom of the deck. And then during the end phase, if the Immortal Sun God was sent to your grave this turn, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Not yet. Bizarre Shock. Oh, it was Bizarre Shock, right? But boom, I got it completely right. Kind of. So this is going to explain itself at some point. I must assume, because sending an archetypal card from deck to graveyard, you know, tons of themes love that, so that's good. But the fact that the payoff is putting any card on the bottom of your deck is purely for recycling, so we're keeping this one in mind. I'm not going to pass too much judgment quite yet. The Sun God's Torture You know, if you are 26 and a Sun God and you do not have a Poet, a Destructor, a Terror Machine, and a Torture Device, then you need to grow up. What is this? This is an eclectic assortment of items. Visor Death Shock is a level 4 Dark Fiend monster, 800 attack, 1200 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, if any number of monsters are sent to your opponent's graveyard and you control a Sun God card, even during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, return one other card on the field to the hand or extra deck, and if you do, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. It can be destroyed by battle, which already puts it leagues ahead of most illusion monsters ever printed. And then third, during the end phase of the Immortal Sun God was sent to your graveyard. This turn you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So, as long as you prove that you're in the archetype, and your opponent, or a monster sent to their graveyard in any way, if they send it for an effect, if you blast it, summon this, bounce a card, and then burn for 800. That's kind of slick. It gives you a little, it's a little hand trap. Well, no, not hand trappy, because you need to have the Sun. Ah, man, that's the rough part. Unless there's another way to get a Sun God card into rotation during your opponent's first turn, this isn't really a hand trap that can help out with playing during that time. But at most other times, that's pretty good. It turns out that people love sending monsters to the graveyard, so this should show up fairly often. Okay. Fusion monster with the frame break treatment. This one's looking pretty good. It doesn't play with the frame like I normally like and ask for these things, but I think the composition for this one is still really strong, regardless of that. Also, I think this is the first time we have seen Divine and presumably Divine Beast being printed in a core set. We've had like side products or things that introduced the God cards, but this is the first time I think a core set has had this attribute logo on it, which doesn't mean anything, but I think it's cool. It is the Sun God of Darkness, the Winged Dragon of Ra, a level 10 Divine Beast fusion monster with question mark attack and defense, requiring, of course, the Winged Dragon of Ra, plus 3 Sun God monsters. It's unaffected by other cards' effects. Second, once per turn during the main phase as a quick effect, you can discard any number of Sun God cards, then choose that many of your opponent's occupied main monster zones. Make your opponent send the monsters in those zones to the graveyard. Okay. So it is this way because we're not targeting the monster, we are targeting the zone, and then it's making them send it to the graveyard. So this gets around cards that are immune to your opponent's card effects because we're making the opponent do it. That's a funny way of handling it because it's kind of like it is. I wouldn't say strictly better, but it is like an upgraded version of Ra's original effect. You pay some life points, target a card, and send it to the graveyard. I forget. I think maybe Phoenix Mode sends and the original one destroys. You'll have to correct me on that one. But it's a quick effect. It turns your Sun God. It turns your Sun God cards into removal, though I didn't expect this to be called this. These other cards come back when the Immortal Sun God was sent to the graveyard, and this is not the Immortal Sun God, which I think is good because it means that we're not predicated on losing our boss monster every time we want to get a whole chunk of recursion back. So this is all upside so far. So towers, a funky form of removal that may incentivize people to play, what is it, Watt Kinetic Fighter or something to change the zones to get out of the way of the removal. And then thirdly, when an attack is declared involving this card, you can pay life points so that you only have one left. This card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points paid and the total attack of all Sun God monsters currently in your graveyard. Oh, okay. So You do have to go to 1 no matter what, but it's not just your life points, it's also all of your sun gods. And though, to be fair, what are our attack points? 800, 18, 16, 2000. It's fine. Okay. This is the big stickler, though. Raw plus 3 sun gods. It feels like that should be a lot, but I guess if we're recurring like a bunch of cards because we're sending another card to the graveyard, then we might be able to get all of it together. Let's keep reading, see how this goes. The Sun God's Steel Cage Lava Golem is a level 8 fire fusion monster, and let me just say, what a chunky monkey. Regular Lava Golem is just not good at showing off the proportions of this creature, but look at them. This is great. Excluding Baby Dragon absolutely getting killed over here. Oh my god. Okay, so it's 3000 attack, 2500 defense, requires a Sun God monster that you control, plus 2 face-up monsters on the field. It cannot be used as fusion material and must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck to your opponent's main monster zone by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard. So it's Lava Golem that lives in your extra deck, with the addition that it treats all of your Sun God monsters as tribute fodder. Scary. If you summon it with the second method, you can only special summon once for the rest of this turn. Oh, okay, so that's a little more that's a little more restrictive here. Not everyone's going to run a Sun God monster just to eat monsters out of the extra deck. And you can only special summon copies of this card once per turn this way, no matter which method you use. And once per turn during your standby phase, take 1000 damage. Okay, so this does function as Lava Golem, right? I think it just does. Aside from the fact that you have the restriction of limiting your special summons for the rest of the turn, you just give them a 3025 that burns them every turn. Cool, neat. Archetypal Lava Golem lives in your extra deck. Pretty sick addition to, I would say, most decks. Okay, next up, the Immortal Sun God. Okay, so this is the card that it checks every time. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. First, special summon the winged dragon of Raw monster from your graveyard or banishment, not just any of them. So it can be any of the 3 beforehand, Sphere, Regular, or Phoenix, or our new fusion monster. It's from the graveyard or banishment, ignoring its summoning conditions. Then, if it is the Winged Dragon of Ra, just by itself, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, you can special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra monster from your extra deck. Send any monster summoned by this effect to the graveyard during the end phase. So if you summon base Winged Dragon of Ra, it dies immediately, and then you get the fusion. So this is how we get it out without spending a billion D cards. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard a Sun God card to add this card to your hand, which of course you will have plenty of because you will be putting them all back into your hand because you sent the Immortal Sun God to the graveyard. So graveyard or banishment, ignoring summoning conditions. So we'll always have a Raw. It brings back... It can bring out our big bungler fusion monster. You know, honestly, I do kind of like that it just kills the monster that it summons. Mostly because this does have synergy with our other Winged Dragon of Raw monsters. But because this version only has attack power by giving up all your life points, it is cool that it's not just going to sit around as a 0 attack monster when you don't want to commit all those life points. It'll just go away. So that's cool. I do kind of like. Okay, I'm with it. I'm on board with this so far. The Sun God leading down into darkness. Woof. Who we got here? Wow. Watch out, Guilford. The flames have approached. Continue with spell card. Activate this card by sending the Winged Dragon of Ra monster from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. So it's a circular. It's a circular spell card. During your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can add a Sun God monster from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. Second, if a monster is destroyed by battle, inflict damage to its controller equal to its original attack. Then, if you have the Winged Dragon of Ra in your graveyard, you gain 1,000 life points. So wait a sec. So you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn, but the second one is mandatory. So if one of your monsters are destroyed by battle, then you take the damage. So this does have a bit of a... This does have a drawback to it. I guess it is funny that it checks for original attack, so like the raw monsters won't cause any damage reflection because that value should be 0. And you do have the chance of gaining some life points out of it, so that you, if you're on the offensive, you gain back some life points. And if you receive the damage, it's not as much, but it's still very funny. What I like most about this, though, is that because it mentions the Winged Dragon of Ra in its card text, it is compatible with that last wave of Winged Dragon of Ra support. And because the search is Sun God monsters, this can then get us to those. So this is tying together in a way, and I do like that. Okay, Sun God Domination is a normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, if the Winged Dragon of Ra monster is on the field, apply these effects in sequence. First, special summon one monster from each graveyard to your field. And then second, if the Winged Dragon of Ra is on the field, take control of all monsters your opponent controls. Second, you can banish this card from your graveyard and tribute one the Winged Dragon of Ra monster, gain life points equal to the attack it had on the field. Okay, good. So this is another way to recoup our life points. There are multiple effects like this in the Winged Dragon of Ra roster so far, or should I say the Winged Dragon of Roster. Thank you very much, I'll be here all day. But the activated effect is just very funny. It very much incentivizes you to play the original version, but even if not, it's still a trap card that gets you 2 monsters. So that's pretty good. I think it's also kind of wild that because you gain life points equal to the attack it had on the field, the way that the new fusion also gains attack based on your in-graveyard Sun Gods means that you are getting a ton of life points. And it also kind of solidifies that it wants you to just be using the Immortal Sun God? The Immortal Sun God as our way of summoning out the fusion. Because like there's no fusion effect so far, and then that spell's going to kill your monster anyway, so why not turn them into life points? Come on! Come on! So this is pretty cool. This is pretty fun. Lastly, we have the Sun God's Protector Egyptian God Slime, the Slifer version now, thank you. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Special summon this card in defense position as an effect monster that is a level 10 Water Aqua with 3,000 attack and defense with these effects. Firstly, if it's special summoned, you can add a Sun God card from your deck to your hand. Then, if it is a monster, and this is your opponent's turn, you can special summon it, and it can't be destroyed by card effects. That's so cool. I really like this card. So, in general, this is just a better version of Metal Reflect Slime, right? Like, heck, did Metal Reflect Slime have attack points? I totally forget. I think it did just have 3,000 defense points. If it had more than that, let me know. Or maybe it did have 3,000, but it couldn't attack. I don't know. The point is that you get this. It's a big body. This can be turned into the Fusion Egyptian God Slime form because it is a... Well, maybe not, because now I really need to read card text. 1 second. Egyptian God Slime. I just want to make sure it doesn't have like a weird, funky condition on there that I'm missing out on. No, okay, they made this specifically so that this cannot turn into Egyptian God Slime because they gave it 3,000 attack. But you have to tribute a level 10 Aqua with 0 attack to summon it. Well, we'll see if this tracks. I only see one 3,000 in the text box, but maybe it's just talking about both. Keep this tentative, because if either it's a 0 attack monster and it can turn into original Egyptian god slime, or this has 3,000 and it's actually meant to mimic the fusion form, which has attack power, in which case this potentially is a monster that can attack. So, good, kind of, I guess. I'm getting fixated on all the wrong points of this card. The important part is that this is a search card that potentially summons out another one of our Sun God cards, which has some pretty killer effects. I'm thinking, what? You activate this, you summon Destructor. You add your hand, it's a monster, so you summon Destructor. You set a Sun God spell or trap card. You set the Immortal Sun God, which you can then activate that turn if you need it to bring out our big fusion monster, and then that's removal if we want. Otherwise, it's a defense position monster that's unaffected by card effects. So there's that, and then what it also said that it can't be destroyed by card effects. Yeah, so it just got protection on there. Pretty cool. And even though we wouldn't be able to, even if this does have 3,000 attack like it says here, it does have the requirements for Egyptian God Slime's regular fusion, which is just an aqua monster and a level 10 water monster. So if we get 2 of these on board, then you could fuse them together. But I think I'm reaching at this point. And then we have our alternate art reprint of the Immortal Phoenix. That's really good looking. That's really good looking. Holy cow. Okay, so thoughts. These cards are interesting. The game plan, I believe, obviously, is to summon out a winged dragon of Ra that does something. We have a way of killing our opponent's monsters. Notably, this only works in the main monster zones, so if you want to play around this, you can summon to the extra monster zone. I wonder what the reasoning behind that was. I'm thinking maybe perhaps it was because it was older Yu-Gi-Oh, so they wanted to exclude the extra monster zone. Maybe there's some rules reason for it. So you summon this. You accumulate a bunch of Sun God monsters into your graveyard. Put all of them in there. Get a billion D attack when you attack with it and one-shot someone with this. And then you have a bunch of random-ass helper cards in here that go to the graveyard while helping to assemble your materials. You get to have Lava Golem in your extra deck, which, has a lot of attack power, but is something that you can punch through. If your opponent is refusing to give you any other options. Also, this only works in monsters in the main monster zone, too. Seems to be pretty consistent. I don't know. I think these cards are pretty neat. I don't know if I'm going crazy over how powerful they are, but they are very neat. However, this is, of course, one duelist's opinion, and I could be missing out on something super obvious to the rest of you, so let me know down below what are your thoughts on the Immortal Sun God and its new dark powers. What does it synergize with? What are you hoping to play it with? And what are your thoughts as well? Let me know down below, and until the next time, Konami drops some juicy spoilers or more lore cards in Rush. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and Ignavius, Nebula Navigators 3rd Dynasty, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Beastsman, Charlie Mercury, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Eric, Frankie, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Japan Man, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, That One Dumbass, The Critic of Innocence and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders, Animasta, Anthrak, Anything You Can Say, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Cool Trainer Dark, The Tenchi 67, Dr. Entity RIP, Drachenwald, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, J.A. Flair, Julian Marquez, Kale the Dragon, Kryptonian Blurred, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Lenia Asta, Mr. Machina, Natiel the Alexander, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Papa Cosmic, Rhyme Kairos, Rogue Wolf, Seraph SG, Shizuka Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Sonic 21 Blast, Stephen Huntsman, The Legendary Raven, The Queen of Time, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara, Rider 2400, Zayden, Zaldreka, and Zentha, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.